Listen up, because this involves one of the most widely held stocks of all time, General Electric. Now, we knew already that Jeff Immelt had announced he would retire at the end of this year. So why did the GE chairman and CEO suddenly say, that's it, I'm out now, gone? Charlie.
We can only guess. Okay, we know that Nelson Peltz wants a seat on the board, Trian Management. We know that Jeff Immelt wanted to stay to the end of the year. He didn't, obviously. He announced yesterday. I mean, it was a surprise announcement. And while just hours after, or just minutes after we were on the air, he announced this. We know that Nelson wants the board seat, probably be filled by Ed Gardner if it happens. So my guess is this is being pushed by Trian, which owns a chunk of GE. And if this does happen, I mean, listen, why do we write these stories or say these things? I mean, listen, I just don't want to talk about General Electric. It will move the stock. Probably announce a major restructuring if this happens. So this is a pretty big story. You're going to have to see. I can't say it's definitely going to happen. I think it's going to happen. I know he wants it to happen, but just keep watching us for the next couple of days, because this will generate a pretty interesting move of the stock.
What the guy who is Ed, who's supposed to take over...
Ed Garden.
Ed Garden. They've already made a few moves to show that they're taking out, in some cases, the nail scissors, and in others, the weed whacker.
Corporate planes, you can't write
That's $700,000
okay,
or something.
Here's the thing.
That's tiny for a company that big.
Why would this move the stock? My belief is, and a lot of people that know Trian Asset Management will tell you, that they want a more radical downsizing of GE. They want, selling major parts of it. They believe, in the old days, it was the whole was greater than the sum of GE's massive parts. That's what Jack Welch used to say.
Right. Then they chalked off a bunch of parts.
Well, they chalked off some of it. They got rid of GE Asset Management, but they really do have a huge conglomerate.
Look at this year to date.
Yeah, it's a horrendous picture with GE, especially a company was a major U.S. company. If you do a 10-year chart, you'll see how high it was. What happened after when Welch was there, and then how it started to dip down. They almost went bank belly up during the financial crisis. We should point out.
And 9/11.
9/11.
That was a disaster.
And he took over right after 9/11. But right now, the theory is at Trian, which owns a chunk of the stock, and that's what makes them important in this. They own a chunk of the stock. They advocate for change. That's why they're known as activist investors. What they believe is that the sum of the parts is actually more than the whole right now. To unleash the value of GE, you're going to have to break it up. So here's what I would do. If you want to play this, it's a scary game. I don't generally advocate trading stocks, but if you buy it now, you are buying it on the belief that Nelson Peltz does get this. I'm not saying he's definitely going to get it. I'm telling you he wants it. He believes he might get it, and that he will impose a radical downsizing of GE, something that we haven't seen in a long time. I mean, GE was cobbled together. I mean, listen, it began with Thomas Edison, obviously, right?
Yeah, the light bulb.
The light bulb, right? So,
GE, we bring good things to light.
And it was cobbled together under under Jack Welch, a massive sort of building out of it, buying and creating all these subsidiaries, including GE Capital, which became its big money driver.
NBC,
you name it. We should point out both of us worked there while we were at CNBC. The opposite is happening now. After about, over 10 years of pretty subpar stock growth, the theory is that you got to break it up, at least by this activist investor. And if he does get a board seat, watch the stock. It's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be probably one of the best stories that we'll see in this year, towards the end of the year. Because if he does get it, stock's got to go up.
It has to get above $30 again. I mean, at least.
I think Immelt's dream was to get it above 50 or something like that before he left.
No way. I mean,
that was his dream. But
yeah, and a lot of the so-called, and this is a Wall Street term, widows and orphans held GE, knowing that it would always be great.
It does have a dividend. We should point out, I believe, right? Does it have a dividend? Yes, I believe it's a dividend stock. But just watch it. I can't guarantee this is going to happen. I can tell you that if it does, it moves.
Charlie, thank you very much.
You got it.
Charlie Gasparino.